Hey guys, Izzy here, back with another Warframe video, and today we're going to be talking about, we're going to be following up on a topic that we were discussing previously, which was, of course, the worst assassinations in Warframe, or, well, I think that's what it was called, actually, but anyways, if you guys watched the video, you may or may not know that, well, obviously you probably knew if you play Warframe, but I did held off on talking about a lot of the boss fights in the game, and mainly the reason as to why is because most of these boss fights could have been a video of themselves, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Basically, if you guys don't know, well, I mentioned it in the video, but I am talking about the placeholder boss fights of the game. Now, if you've played Warframe for a long period of time, or for a long time in general, like for years, you're very familiar with what placeholders are, and you've experienced, fighting with these placeholders previously. If you don't know what a placeholder is pretty much what the name suggests. It's something that's holding the place for something else. A good example is, for example, previously, back in the day, Bayhek used to be just a napalm. I believe it was a napalm unit, and he was just reskinned. That was just it. That's pretty much what he was. We also had Ambulance and Raptor, which were placeholder boss fights previously, where it was just a MOA that was scaled up, and the same goes for the Raptor. It was just an offspray that was scaled up, and different colors and all. It's pretty much what it was previously, and it's kind of funny to think about it now. We have since passed the era of having a lot of placeholders in the game. However, to anybody's surprise, or nobody's surprise really, we still have placeholders in the game. If you played a decent chunk of Warframe, you've probably already fought against one of the only placeholder boss fights that are still in the game, which one of them is, of course, the Sergeant. The Sergeant is supposed to be a placeholder for a boss fight for Nef Anjo. If you're asking how I know that, well, I mean, typically we receive, Nef Anjo's beautiful face whenever we're doing sorties, and the Sergeant is the boss fight. So this has also been hinted in previous dev streams. Probably about 4 years ago was the last time that we actually received notice in regards to them wanting to do a Nef Anjo boss fight. And even then before, like, they showed off a couple of models and such that they were thinking about doing for the boss fight, or the assassination, whatever you want to call it. But they never really, got to doing it. And to this point, honestly, at this time, I highly doubt we're ever going to get it, or at least not anytime soon. The main reason is because we've missed out on a ton of opportunities to actually get a Nef Anjo boss fight. Nef Anjo could have been easily in the index when, of course, the Nidus quest was introduced in the game. It could have been when Fortuna was introduced. It could have been introduced, it could have been even introduced in the Sisters of Parvo's quest, or after that. But no, we never received, I don't understand why there's so many lost opportunities for a boss fight that, quite honestly, I'm quite looking forward to, since we've seen Nef Anjo in so many, cutscenes, not cutscenes, but, throughout our history of Warframe, we've seen Nef Anjo so many times, and I feel like he's gonna be, a really cool type of, boss fight, cause I don't know, I just have that feeling, honestly. I feel like he's just gonna be like that, that one boss fight that's very similar to, if you played previously, the Law of Retribution raid in Warframe, where we fought against Bayhek. I feel like that's the type of vibe that I get from a boss fight for Nef Anjo, but unfortunately we haven't, and I think the best opportunity was Fortuna. And now, basically, Fortuna's not ran by Nef Anjo. To my understanding, it was an armor, and now it's kind of free. It's kind of unclear the status of Fortuna, to me, honestly. I might have missed a couple of information in regards to the lore for that. so I'll probably have to look into it. But unfortunately, I don't think it's under Nef Anjo at the very least, or maybe it is. But it just kind of feels like it's a little bit too late, and maybe not, because if you guys have played Warframe, you guys know that there's typically when there's open worlds, like we had the 3 Eidolons, and then in Fortuna we're supposed to get 3 spiders, but we only got 2 of them, and that's another boss fight that we're probably not gonna get, but it could happen with Nef Anjo. I don't know, maybe they tie it together, I don't know. But anyways, besides the point, Nef Anjo has been a boss fight that they've never introduced into the game, and they still have a placeholder in its place. And the thing about placeholder boss fights is that they're very notorious for being extremely fucking cheesy. Like, you can just cheese them with pretty much any Warframe, and that's the thing about the Sergeant. It's still the thing about Phorid, which is another one of the placeholder it's another one of those placeholder assassinations that are still in the game. While I don't mind the existence of Phorid is literally just a fucking charger that's upscaled to the Watu, and it's kind of just a little bit of a different color. It has a few unique moves, but you barely ever get to see them because it dies so easily that it's just kind of a joke, honestly. I don't mind the fact that it's easy because of the fact that, well, you need to kill it 3 times in order to get, the invasion, and also, next drops from that, and you have to wait until a boss, invasion falls under an assassination to actually farm for Nyx, which is fine, it's whatever, but I mean, Trinity's locked behind Ambulus, so that logic's thrown out of the fucking window. Anyways, the thing is, I would love to see Phorid getting a proper rework, kind of like Lefantis, something like that, like in the style of Lefantis. Maybe make it a little bit easier, not too hard. I wouldn't mind, but honestly, pause on that. But honestly, I do feel like it's kind of ridiculous that Warframe is to the point where it is right now. Like, it's pretty popular, and it's made some really great progress with, like, in terms of story, in terms of quality, in terms of updates, and we still have placeholder items in the game, placeholder assassinations. It's just kind of ridiculous, and I mean, it's fine to some extent, but sometimes, I just think about it and it's like, wow, it just reminds me back in the day when Ambulus and the Raptor were still a thing. They were just super easy to fucking kill, like, they were just super easy to cheese. And that's why probably Ambulus was not really a problem to farm your Warframes. I think Ambulus, I mentioned it in the previous video that Ambulus used to drop, I believe, Excalibur, so I know Ambulus pretty well. I mean, I killed it a lot of times, because I do have like 5 Excaliburs. If you guys haven't seen that short, it's in my videos or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of ridiculous that Warframe still has this. And it's gonna be a while before we also get any type of, like, rework to these boss fights. I have faith they will, because, I mean, they did revamp the Jackal, which is nice, because that was already, like, what, 1 or 2 years ago? So, I still hold out hope, but with, how tied their hands are with the Degree Paradox, and probably what's gonna come after the Degree Paradox, I feel like the direction that they're taking, at least in story-wise and content-wise, it's gonna be quite tough to actually, focus on actually reworking what they have right now. So, yeah, that's gonna be tough. But, yeah, but what do you guys think about it? Have you had the opportunity to actually battle against these placeholder assassinations? Sorry, I had a hiccup there. Or did you happen to see it previously? Or what do you think about still having placeholders in Warframe? Like, is it kind of ridiculous to you, or is it whatever to you? Like, let me know in the comment section below. This was somewhat of a shorter video. Well, not that short, honestly, but still. But I just wanted to follow up on that. I just find it to be a very interesting topic, because I know for a fact that moving forward, we're still going to have a lot of placeholder things. There's some minor things that are still placeholders, or things that they put in the game that are placeholders, but then change them, like icons and such, which is whatever, that's totally fine. But a boss fight is, to me, it's still, you know, pushing it a little bit, you know, just because it's a boss fight, you know, and it's something that we encounter, and it feels very cheap when we fight something that is just literally a reused asset of the game, but just upscaled. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in today's video. It was a little bit of a wacky one, you know, I just wanted to make a two-part to this, and because if I would have made it into one video, it would have been pretty long. So yeah, anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I am going to be streaming Warframe probably on the weekends now, because I did make a poll and you guys actually voted on wanting streams for Warframe on the weekend. So I'll probably do weekend streams for Warframe and weekly streams for a weekday for Pokemon or Genshin if I happen to start streaming Genshin. I'll probably make a poll for that, honestly, because I like Genshin a lot, and I played enough to where I feel comfortable streaming it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. You guys, I'm almost at 500 subscribers, which is kind of insane to think about, to be honest. We're almost halfway there to the goal, which is 1,000 to start trying to get partnered. So I'm really happy, honestly. You guys have been the greatest, honestly. I can't thank you guys enough for pulling up to streams and into my videos and enjoying them, and you know, as I'll get into my feelings another time. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.